Hello friends, good morning. Today we will discuss the unit number 6 of analog communication, that is called digital transmission of analog signal. As I said earlier in the previous lecture, analog communications, the syllabus of your analog communication start from your amplitude modulation, then frequency modulation and phase modulation. So in this unit number 6, we will define how to convert this analog modulation techniques, that is called amplitude modulation, in terms of any type of digital modulation. That's why the name is given digital transmission of analog signal. So in this case, we will convert any type of analog modulation in terms of digital one. For that case, we require 3 different cases. So we will define in detail stepwise. So basically, before start to switch, the main concept come to the picture, that is called pulse modulation. So basically, this pulse modulation is nothing but the in case of pulse modulation, we are going to use high frequency carrier signal as a pulse train. Otherwise, I will call you can able to use a square wave. So such type of modulation is basically called as a pulse modulation. So these pulse modulation are basically classified into 2 parts, that is called analog pulse modulation and the digital pulse modulation. So this analog pulse modulation are again classified into 3 different parts. So first one is nothing but the pulse amplitude modulation. If you are going to look here, this is nothing but the pulse amplitude modulation. This is called the pulse width modulation, and this is nothing but the pulse position modulation. So in the first unit, first part, we have already defined. That means to define the amplitude modulation, frequency modulation, and the phase modulation, we are going to change the 3 different important characteristics of the particular carrier signal. That is nothing but the amplitude, frequency, and the phase. That's why the name is given amplitude modulation, frequency modulation, and the phase modulation. But in case of pulse modulation, we are going to use a high frequency carrier signal as a pulse train. Otherwise, I will call it a square wave, where I can able to change the 3 different characteristics or a parameter of the particular pulse train. And that parameter is in terms of your amplitude. I can able to change the amplitude, I can able to change the width, and I can able to change the position. So by changing three important parameters, the analog pulse modulation are classified into the pulse amplitude modulation, where I can able to change the amplitude of high frequency carrier pulse. Then this is called the pulse width modulation, where I can able to change the width of high frequency pulse. And this is called the pulse position modulation, where I can able to change the position of your high frequency signal in terms of position. In case of digital pulse modulation, the first example is nothing but the pulse code modulation. So this is your this is only for your second year syllabus. That's what it's in your syllabus is mentioned. That is called a pulse code modulation. And this pulse code modulation is nothing but the first digital modulation techniques. Apart from that case, there are a number of digital modulation techniques are there. That is called delta modulation, then adaptive delta modulation, QPSK, BPSK, and number of digital modulation techniques are there. We will not go detail regarding this one. We will discuss only the PCM. So PCM is the first digital modulation techniques. Okay, but for that case, we can able to convert this analog pulse modulation in terms of your digital pulse modulation. That means how to obtain the pulse code modulation from the basically from pulse amplitude modulation. That is a part of your unit number 6. That's why it's called pulse modulation. Okay. So as I said earlier, what is exactly meaning of your pulse amplitude analog pulse modulation? So in case of pulse analog modulation techniques, your modulating signal is nothing but a baseband signal, that is in terms of your sine wave, while in carrier frequency is nothing but the high frequency pulse train. So according to that, you can able to change the 3 different parameters. So I will get pulse amplitude modulation, pulse width modulation, and the pulse position modulation. Same thing, this is called the pulse amplitude modulation. So we will define all these 3 parameters, that is called pulse amplitude modulation, pulse width modulation, and the pulse position modulation. In case of before that, we will just compare the definition of your amplitude modulation. So in case of your amplitude modulation, it is a process of changing the high frequency carrier signal in accordance with the amplitude of the modulating signal by keeping frequency and the phase constant. That's why it is called amplitude modulation. We already defined this one. Now we will define the pulse amplitude modulation. pulse amplitude modulation. So this pulse amplitude modulation is somewhere like, or I will say this is exactly identical with the speed amplitude modulation, where I can define the definition of your pulse amplitude modulation. So in case of your pulse amplitude modulation, the high frequency pulse train, the high frequency pulse train is changing according to the amplitude of the modulating signal by keeping position and the width constant. It's called as a pulse amplitude modulation. This is called pulse amplitude modulation, and this is somewhat like to amplitude modulation. While in case of amplitude modulation, it is changing high frequency carrier signal as a sine wave is changing in accordance with the amplitude of the modulating signal by keeping uh, by keeping phase and the frequency constant. But in case of pulse amplitude modulation, high frequency carrier pulse is changed in accordance with the amplitude of the modulating signal or baseband signal by keeping width and the position constant. That's why it's called pulse amplitude modulation. Okay, same thing we can define the pulse width modulation. So this pulse width modulation I will call exactly identical or somewhat like to equal to the frequency modulation. In case of frequency modulation, I'm defined the frequency modulation as per unit number 2. In case of your frequency modulation, the high frequency carrier signal is changed in accordance with the amplitude of your modulating signal by keeping amplitude and the phase of carrier signal constant. This was about your frequency modulation. So I will call this frequency modulation is exactly identical with your pulse width modulation, where the definition of your pulse width modulation is like this. In case of your pulse width modulation, high frequency pulse train is changed in accordance with the amplitude of the modulating signal by keeping amplitude and the position constant. It's called as a pulse width modulation. Okay. So this pulse position modulation is also called as a pulse duration modulation, where either the leading edge or the trailing edge or both may be varied by the modulating signal. This is a very important feature of your pulse width modulation. Okay, same thing I can able to define the pulse position modulation, or the pulse width modulation gives the better signal to noise performance than the pulse amplitude modulation. Pulse width modulation has an advantage when it compared with the pulse position modulation, that is pulse are varying width and therefore varying power also. So power is also constant. In case of frequency modulation, we have already defined all the transmitted power is always constant because the amplitude of the carrier is always constant. Same thing here. Pulse position modulation definition. So in case of your pulse position modulation, the high frequency carrier signal as a pulse is a pulse train is changed in accordance with the amplitude of the modulating signal by keeping amplitude and the width of carrier signal constant. This is called pulse position modulation. Okay. So this is nothing but the typical waveform of the pulse amplitude modulation. So just I will explain how you can able to obtain the pulse with a pulse amplitude modulation, as I said earlier. So in this case, if you're going to look at, this is nothing but a low frequency signal. This is called a modulating signal. Otherwise, I will call a baseband signal. So this is amplitude, this is time. So this is nothing but a modulating signal. Then this is nothing but a pulse train. This is a pulse train in terms of your high frequency carrier signal. As per the definition of your pulse amplitude modulation, in case of pulse amplitude modulation, what is going on? The high frequency pulse train is changed in accordance with the amplitude of the modulating signal by keeping width and the position constant. That means the amplitude of this pulse train is changed according to the amplitude of the modulating signal. If you are going to look here, the amplitude of your high frequency pulse train is changed in accordance with the amplitude of the modulating signal. That's why it is called pulse amplitude modulation. So this is nothing but the waveform of the pulse amplitude modulated waveform. So this is called PAM waveform. If you are going to look here, at this case amplitude is minimum, so this is minimum, this is maximum, so this is maximum. So this is nothing but the pulse amplitude modulation waveform. Okay, same thing, this is the second part of your pulse amplitude modulation. This is called pulse amplitude modulated waveform as per the definition. Okay, so this is called again the pulse amplitude modulating signal as per the definition of the pulse amplitude modulation. So this is nothing but a pulse width modulation. As per the definition of the pulse width modulation, that means this is nothing but a low frequency signal. This is all the high frequency pulse train. As per the definition of your pulse width modulation, that means as the high frequency carrier signal, that is a pulse trend, is changed in accordance with the amplitude of the modulating signal by keeping amplitude and the position constant. So look here, as the amplitude of this modulating signal goes on increases, the width of the particular high frequency carrier signal also goes on increases. That means, suppose I will call this is a point A. So this is called maximum amplitude. For this maximum amplitude, if you are going to observe here, you are getting the maximum width. That means whenever this modulating signal reaches the maximum amplitude, at that case, this pulse width modulation produces a maximum width. Whenever this modulating signal trying to reaches the minimum width, suppose I will call this is a point B, where this is a point B, where I will call minimum amplitude, at that case it can be able to produce a minimum width. So in a single statement, I will call maximum amplitude of the M of t or a modulating signal, I will generate the maximum width. Minimum amplitude, suppose this is I will call a minimum width, at that case it can be able to generate the minimum width of the particular signal. This concept is exactly identical with respect to the frequency modulation. I'm talking with respect to frequency modulation. So in case of, if you are going to recall that one, in case of frequency modulation, maximum amplitude, it can be able to generate the maximum frequency deviation. Maximum amplitude, it can be able to generate the maximum frequency deviation, while in case of the minimum amplitude, it will be generate a minimum frequency deviation. While in case of pulse width modulation, maximum amplitude, maximum width, minimum amplitude, minimum width. So this is the basic difference between the pulse width modulation and the frequency modulation. Okay. So this is again the pulse width modulation. Another example. So this is called the modulating signal, and this is the high frequency. This is nothing but the pulse width modulation. So maximum amplitude, maximum width, minimum amplitude, minimum width. Then from the pulse width modulation, I can able to generate the pulse position modulation. As per the definition of a pulse position modulation, high frequency carrier pulse is changed in accordance with the amplitude of the modulating signal by keeping amplitude and the width constant. That means in this case, if I'm going to look here, width is constant, but in case of pulse width modulation, the width is different. Is a variable, and that will be changed according with the amplitude of the modulating signal. So in case of pulse position modulation, your width is always constant, but it can be changed its position as per the definition. So in this case, if you're going to look here, this is the point where I can able to shift my position of the width. Again, this is the shifting of your width, this is the shifting of width, shifting of width, shifting of width. So this waveform, lower waveform, is called as a pulse position modulation. Okay. Same thing, pulse amplitude modulation, another example, M of t, and this is nothing but the pulse amplitude modulation. So this is the thing but the pulse amplitude modulation, this is called the pulse width modulation. So modulation in which the duration of pulse is varied in accordance with the modulating signal as per definition of this one. So pulse amplitude modulation, analog signal, pulse amplitude modulation. So this is the some definitions with respect to of your pulse width modulation, pulse position modulation, and remaining one. We already defined all the three parameters. Pulse position modulation, we already defined. The position of each pulse is varied according to the amplitude of your modulating signal. We already defined. So this is called pulse width modulation. This is called the pulse position modulation. So this width will be get shifted according to the position of your modulating signal as per the amplitude of your modulating signal. So this is at a one point you can able to generate the pulse amplitude modulation, pulse width modulation, and the pulse position modulation. So this is nothing but the analog signal, modulating signal. This is called the pulse amplitude modulation. This is called the pulse width modulation. As per this case, maximum amplitude, maximum width, minimum amplitude, minimum width. This is in case of a pulse amplitude modulation. As the amplitude of the modulating signal goes on increase, the amplitude high frequency carrier signal also goes on increase. So this is called pulse amplitude modulation, pulse width modulation, and this is for your pulse width modulation. So by using a single case, I can able to define at a glance pulse amplitude modulation, pulse width modulation, and the pulse position modulation. Okay. So what is the basic difference between the pulse amplitude modulation and the pulse width modulation? So as per definition, the first point is nothing but a definition of a pulse amplitude modulation, pulse width modulation, and the pulse position modulation. So this pulse amplitude modulation is similar to AM. I just explained. The pulse amplitude modulation is similar to AM. Pulse width modulation is similar to FM. The pulse position modulation is similar to PM. One thing you should always keep in mind. Second one, bandwidth of the transmitting channel depends upon the width of pulse. That means the bandwidth of the transmitting channel depends upon the width of pulse. Bandwidth of the transmitting channel depends upon the rising time of the pulse. This is the width. This is always changing in terms of your rising width or upward direction or lower direction of the particular sphere wave or the pulse wave. Bandwidth of the transmitting channel depends upon the rise time of the pulse of the pulse. Instantaneous power of the transmitter is always varied. That means this is exactly identical with respect to amplitude modulation. In case of amplitude modulation, we have already defined all the transmitted power is not constant. But in case of pulse width modulation, all the transmitted power is always constant because the amplitude of the carrier signal is always constant. Same thing with respect to pulse width modulation. Instantaneous power is always constant because amplitude of the particular carrier signal is always constant in case of your pulse width modulation and the pulse position modulation, because the total transmitted power is total depends upon the value of A, that is called amplitude as per the formula. Noise interference is very high in case of pulse. We already defined this one. Noise effect is more in case of pulse amplitude modulation. Noise interference is very minimum in case of pulse width modulation and the pulse position modulation. This is similar to FM and PM also. In case of FM and PM, the effect of noise is less as compared to AM. That's why noise interference is minimum in case of pulse width modulation in the pulse position modulation. Complex system is there, simple to implement, and the last statement is very important, similar to AM, similar to FM, similar to PM. Okay, so this is nothing but the first part of the particular unit number 6. So unit number 6, first part we already started, that is called a digital transmission of your analog signal. Your digital transmission of analog signal, the main aim of this unit is that how to convert the analog modulation technique in terms of digital one. For that case, initially we have defined the pulse analog modulation techniques or pulse modulation techniques. It is basically classified into 3 different parts, that is called the pulse amplitude modulation, pulse width modulation, pulse position modulation. We have defined the definition of pulse amplitude modulation, pulse width modulation, and pulse position modulation along with its time domain representation waveform. Then we have defined the difference between the pulse amplitude modulation, pulse width modulation, and the pulse position modulation. So we will stop here. In the next lecture, we will define how to convert analog modulation technique in terms of digital one. For that case, we require 3 different process or 3 different parameters. That is nothing but the sampling process, then quantization, and the encoding. So in the next PPTs, we will define sampling process, sampling theorem, quantization, and the encoding. And we will define how to convert analog with example, how to convert a pulse and any analog signal and any analog modulation techniques into digital one. Okay, thank you.